Hey guys, so today we're going to be on page 5 in your new packets. We're going to start working with word problems. So yesterday we did sort of like the translating type problems where all of the words in the sentence pretty much became our numbers and our symbols. Today we're going to do the same thing, but now there's going to be some type of a context or a story, and we have to solve the question appropriately. So on page 5, you'll notice at the top, we have the boxes here that say to define our variable, set up our equation and solve, and then define your answer. So this is sort of the 3 steps you want to take. Define your variable just means decide what letter you're going to use and what does it represent. We're going to set up an equation and solve, so write an equation and solve it. And we're going to define our answer, meaning we're going to state our answer. We're going to make sure it has appropriate units. So the question says a plant is 13 inches tall and grows 2 inches per week. How many weeks will it take for the plant to be 23 inches tall? So first off, it's asking us how many weeks. So we have to figure out that that's what we want to find. So I'm going to use W, and I'm going to say that that stands for the number of weeks. Okay. I can pick any letter I want, so you can pick X every single time if you want, or you can pick a letter that goes with the item you're finding. So in this case, how many weeks? So I picked W. So now we want to write an equation. So we've got to pull out our important information. My plant is 13 inches tall right now. It grows 2 inches per week, right? And we want the plant to be 23 inches. So right now my plant is 13. If it grows, that means I am adding to the height 2 inches per week. So that's going to multiply by however many weeks this plant grows. And we're going to let it grow until it equals 23 inches. So that's my equation. And so now we're going to solve our equation, in this case for letter W, or whatever letter you choose. So opposite operation still. If it's a positive 13, I'm going to minus 13. So 2W equals 10. Divide by 2. And so W equals 5. But this is where we need to define our answer, meaning we want to make sure that our answer has appropriate units. So 5W, well, remember, 5 what? Well, remember W is our number of weeks, so this is 5 weeks, and so that is my answer. It's always important to make sure we have units with those answers. Okay? If you need more time here with the first one, hit pause. Not, we're going to slide to question number 2. So this question says Ahmed buys some shoes online for $32 per pair, and the shipping is $4. If he decides to buy more pairs of those same shoes and it does not change the shipping cost, how many can he buy with $100? Well, so now I need a variable. So for example, like I said, you can pick X every time if you want. You just have to say, what does X represent? Well, I'm looking for how many can he buy. So how many what? Shoes. So X is how many shoes, right? Or pairs of shoes. And so now we got to think about what we know. They're $32 per pair. Shipping is $4, and he wants to only spend $100. So if it's $32 per pair, $32 times how many shoes he's buying, plus the $4 shipping, which they said is not changing, so it's only $4. And so that's going to equal his $100 budget. So now I have my equation, now I can solve it. So positive 4 means opposite is minus. So 32 times x is equal to 96. And so now we're going to divide by 32. And so 96 divided by 32 gives us 3. And so this is 3 pairs of shoes. If you would get a decimal value, understand this, you're not allowed to order, 0.3 of a pair of shoes. So sometimes with word problems, the answer always needs to be a whole number, even if you get a decimal at the end, because you can't buy fractional or decimal amounts of something. The stores don't really let you do that. Again, if you need more time on question 2, hit pause. If not, let's look at question 3. Anna Marie paid $36.50 in taxi fare from the hotel to the airport. The taxi charged $3.50 for the first mile plus $2.75 for each additional mile. How many miles was it from the hotel to the airport? Okay, so this one, they give us a lot of information. Ultimately, we want how many miles, right? But it talks about she paid $36.50, $3.50 for the first mile, and $2.75 for each additional mile, right? So my variable here, I'm going to use M for mile, but the key here is these are the additional miles. Because those are the ones that she's going to pay repeatedly. Every mile, it's another $2.75. But that $3.50 for the first mile, we will have to consider at the end. So for example, she pays $3.50 for the first mile, plus she pays $2.75 for every mile that comes after that. Her total was equal to $36.50. So let's find out how far she went. I'm going to subtract my $3.50. So $2.75 times M, right? So the $36.50 minus the $3.50, that gives me 33. And now we are dividing, so just watch those decimals. So if I divide by 2.75, that gives me 12. But that's 12 additional miles plus the 1 mile at $3.50. So I have to say that this is 12 plus 1, which is 13 miles as my final answer. Because that's how far it was from the hotel to the airport, because it was $3.50 for that first mile plus the 12 additional miles that I got from my equation. So this one has that little trick to it that my answer for letter M in this case is not actually my final answer. So once again, if you need more time with question 3, hit pause. Otherwise, we're going to look at question 4. So question 4 says, once a month, Angela buys Dunkin' coffee to share with her friends. In May, she bought 3 more than twice the number of coffees she bought in April. If Angela bought 15 coffees in May, how many coffees did she buy in April? Well, I'm going to use a capital A for coffees in April, let's say. Okay. So it said in May, she bought 3 more than twice the number. So this is actually similar to the questions from yesterday. That this is going to translate. 3 more means I need to add 3, twice the number of coffees she bought in April. Well, if A are the coffees she bought in April, then twice that is 2 times A. So 3 more than 2 times A is 3 added to 2 times those coffees in April. It said she bought 15 coffees, meaning the total here should be 15. So if I solve my equation, positive 3, so opposite is minus, divide by 2, we get 6, so that is 6 coffees in April. So sometimes we do get to use or look for those similar words that we had worked with yesterday. If you need more time with question 4, hit pause. If you're good with question 4, we've got one more. Let's look at question 5. Matt's cell phone company charges $30 per month plus $5 for each gigabyte of data used. If Matt's bill was $75, how many gigabytes of data did he use this month? So I'm going to just use an X again. This is where you get choice. Pick whatever letters make you happy. Some people just pick X every single time. So we're going to say X is our gigabytes of data. Okay. So let's look at what they told us. It's $30 per month plus 5 for each gigabyte. The bill was $75. So we paid $30 plus I pay 5 for every gigabyte of data used. So that's my 5 times X. And in the end, he spent $75. So if this is positive 30, we subtract. Then I can divide both sides by 5. And I get an answer of 9. So he used 9 gigabytes of data. Every word problem is a little bit different, but obviously there's certain similarities. Okay, the key is just find that important information. Make sure when you write your equation, you're writing it with an equal sign. Don't forget that. And then just make sure you're using our normal solving steps. Use those opposite operations. If you still need time with question 5, hit pause. Otherwise, you can move on to the homework. So you're going to take care of the assignment on page 6. Please make sure that when you finish page 6, you upload it to Canvas for your credits. Have a great day, guys.